to another episode of Millionaires Are Made, the show where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. We share tips every week to improve your physical, mental, spiritual, financial, intellectual, and social health. We're going to focus on your social health and the topic of self-care. Fascinating. Millionaires Are Made. This is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. We are on a mission here at Millionaires Are Made to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest version of themselves that they can possibly be. We get guests from everywhere to share their tips so we all can grow. In the spirit of authenticity and to remove as much bias as possible, we don't talk about tips or advice before the show starts. So when you hear what our guests have to say, it's the first time I'm hearing it as well, and it's true from them and their hearts and their journey. Woohoo! Audience, if you're watching this right now, this is a very interactive show. Please comment and ask questions. We answer them all live, and we'll respond to your comments as well. It's fascinating. If you're watching this going, I have a lot of tips that I could share, we'd love to meet you. We're dropping a link right now. Please sign up and be a guest. We'd love to have new guests. We love to hear new things and learn new info and help the world grow. So sign up now. If you also have a topic idea, shoot us a message. You can comment right now wherever you're watching us. We will monitor that, and we will go and find 3 awesome guests that can give a little bit of advice on the topic that you are struggling with or you want to hear more about. On that note, if you like what we do and you love our mission, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I don't know what else. Send stars wherever you're watching us. Show us some love so we can keep growing and growing. And if you really, really like free advice, I do offer free coaching. We're dropping that link right now if you want to have a one-on-one session with me. Sometimes I say smart things, and sometimes I at least know people that are smart and can help you out. And I do want to make a big announcement. We recently just added some merchandise. We will drop that link in the comments right now. Go buy a Millionaires Are Made shirt right now. Go buy a mug. Go buy a calendar. Be happy. Be smart. Learn awesome things. Our calendars are dope. They have every month is a brand new awesome quote from one of our favorite guests. So go check that out if you can. Woo! Real quick, we're going to do a shout out to some followers on Facebook, Rosalind and Rodriguez, Instagram, Powell Bevs, TikTok, Anna Barbie, and YouTube, Rochelle P. Thank you guys for following. If you want us to shout you out, you just have to follow. Easy peasy. And before we get into it, let's give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. Craig Sitzkowski, human behaviorist and mentor who helps entrepreneurs discover their true identity, purpose, and achieve growth in business and life. That work-life balance is amazing after a session with Craig. Go check out him right now. Click that link. Our next sponsor is Sarah Jones, who Sarah's awesome. So Sarah currently lives in an RV with her husband, teaching people about how to build a great financial foundation. But where she came from was difficult. She used to have the money, but was buried in debt with it, and in a marriage that was failing, following one of the big name programs that actually just added more shame. So she went out and learned the true way money works, and now is teaching everyone she can. Cam Knight is our next sponsor here, a strategic thinker who turned career uncertainty, what do I do, into a path of mastery. He actually went and did the CPA exam, and while learning for that, he mastered learning techniques and proved that intelligence is a skill, not a gift. Anybody can be smart, and now he teaches everyone how. And our final sponsor is Jeremy Roderick. Jeremy is author of Lead Like a King and coaches high-value dads who refuse to settle for a life of frustration and resentment. If you have any sort of cracks or fissures in your relationship, Jeremy's the guy to go talk to make sure that your marriage stays happy, healthy, and beneficial to both parties. Most men think marriage, parenting, and success are a grind, an unwinnable game. But the truth is, you are just not given the right tools to win. So Lead Like a King is the tool and the roadmap to mastering marriage, creating unshakable confidence, and leading with power at home and in business. Go step up at the link below. And now that we have done all that fun stuff, let's go talk to some of our guests. First up, we have Samantha. Samantha, tell us, who are you?
Well, good morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. I am Samantha, and I am the angel of restoration, here to help you
Ooh,
restore your body, mind, and spirit so that you can reclaim your identity and step into your calling.
wow. All right, Samantha, I love it. Let's see if you've got some advice for us. If I wanted to improve my social health with self care, what piece of advice would you give me?
The first important key is to be able to set your boundaries, protect your energy, and nurture uplifting relationships. And don't forget to rest.
Don't forget to rest. I love it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Set boundaries. Where and how do you go about doing that?
Well, prioritizing setting the boundaries that nurture your well being, true self love begins with knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and support your growth while creating a space for moments of rest and reflection. Self care isn't just about physical health, but it's also um, about protecting your energy and emotional well being in your relationships.
All right. I love it. Samantha,
Yeah.
tell us, where in your life journey did you learn this advice?
It's honestly been recent. This year I surrendered my business to God, and in doing so, I had to put up a lot of boundaries and protect
Good.
myself because there's a lot of unwanted advice out there, and you got to know when to say yes to it and when to say no to it.
Oh, that's a good little tip. It's a lot of
Yes,
advice on this show, and it may not all be for everyone. So that's a good,
exactly.
interesting way to do that. Awesome, Samantha. Thank you so much for the advice. We'll bring you out in the round robin, and we're going to move on to our next guest real quick. Our next guest is Jeremy. Jeremy, who are you?
I am Jeremy, your lead like a king consultant, helping men rock marriage and business.
Happy men rock marriage and business. I love it. Jeremy, if I
There you
wanted
go.
to improve my social health with self care, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Real simple. Find the people, the places, the things that expand you first. And then you can go everywhere else, do everything else.
Okay, tell us more.
Yeah, so for me, go into the, where did I learn this thing? So when I was in high
Oh, do you
school
want me
and
to
I was
hold on real
oh no,
quick
no.
then? Jeremy, where on your life
Yeah.
journey did you learn this advice?
There you go. So basically, yeah, I'm getting ahead of it. But basically in high school and anytime I was around like large amounts of crowds, like I would amp energy off the crowd and I would get like really frazzled and just kind of overwhelmed and I need to shut down or get away from it. I would get sick to my stomach, I would feel nauseous, just all this really whatever energy. And I discovered that if I go for a walk in nature, if I just go have some quiet time by myself, it kind of recharges my social batteries. And then the world around me did not have that impact anymore. And so it was really that idea of what am I doing to get me in the best place possible? Then being around other people can amplify the good stuff inside. So if you don't know or you haven't found what gets you into a high vibe, into a solid place, into a good feeling, find those things first, and then other people, other situations can expand beyond that. And it's okay if you don't like crowds and you prefer small groups and go deep with a few people. That's awesome. Some people, a little bit of light touch with everybody everywhere all the time and they need more stimulation. That's okay too. It's finding what's authentic to you and then building from that place.
All right. Authentic to you, build from there. I love it. All right, Jeremy, we're going to move on since you did two questions in one. We're going to move on to Carolyn,
Yes.
and then we'll bring y'all back out for a nice round robin. We might have a good amount of time for that. Carolyn, tell me, who are
Hello.
you?
Well, I am I'm a breath and energy therapist, I guess you can say, and I help the the ambitious, sensitive souls have the energetic release they need to have the physical and emotional relief that they crave. So I help them navigate life through that messy middle and design a life that feels as good on the inside as it might look on the outside.
Feels as
Through
good on
breath
the
and
inside
energy.
as it looks on the outside. Through breath and energy. Fascinating,
Yeah.
fascinating. All right. Well, I've got an important question for you, Carolyn. If I
Yeah.
wanted to improve my social health with self care, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Yeah. So I kind of was going to say the same thing as Samantha. Basically, that boundaries are where it's at. And I'm going to kind of expand in a different way and say that boundaries are, they're not rude. They're actually the highest form of self respect and self care.
Ooh, okay.
So when you set your boundaries, you are really cultivating compassion for yourself. You're improving your presence with yourself and with other people and in the now. You know, it helps you improve your relationships, and it helps you really stick with your values and learn your values. So, I mean, I can kind of expand on boundaries a little bit, and it really helps you, it just really helps you come home to yourself really and put yourself first, right? Saying no is not, it's not rude, right? If it's draining you, because if you're feeling good, everybody else around you is going to feel good and your world is going to expand.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Where on your life journey did you learn this, Carolyn?
Yeah. That's been a constant. But I would say, I've always like logically known about boundaries, but the older I've gotten, and since I've had a kid, I'm actually an older mom. I'm almost 49 with a toddler. And so,
Oh,
it's,
nice.
yeah. um, so I think really when he came into my life, I decided I had to audit my inner circle as well, which is really establishing the boundaries too, and kind of define how I wanted to be treated, because I wanted him to really grow up in a world where he treats himself good and he takes care of himself, you know, and nurtures his own health, his mental health, his self-care, his all of it, So really I was just leading by example. He changed my world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works. That's how it works. Thank you so much, Carolyn. We're
Yeah.
going to bring everyone else out here. Audience, what a great time to ask questions. We have a lot of time for the round robin, and we've got some people that I think are ready to talk quite a bit. Let us know if you have questions. Otherwise, let's start. Samantha, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
So set boundaries, protect your energy, and nurture uplifting relationships. And don't forget to rest.
Okay, let's go over this. How do you protect your energy?
Um,
Anyone?
Protecting energy is setting those boundaries to be able to know how you're feeling. And if it doesn't feel right, set that boundary and walk off.
And so, setting a boundary, Carolyn, you can hop on this, is essentially learning when and how to say no. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it goes beyond that though too.
Tell me that.
I think it Yeah, I think right in a social setting that's about saying no, but also when you need to put boundaries in place, that is with your phone, with your social media, with all of it, right? Like, because when all of that is like I mean, we live in a world of chaos, of stuff, right? And if we are not setting boundaries with all of these areas of our life, like we have different pillars of our life, if we're not setting boundaries in all of those areas, then our energy is going to be drained. We're going to have these little energy suckers that we might not realize, right? And so I think it goes beyond the saying no. I think it's more about really, when I say set a boundary, I say establish how it is that you want to feel each day, how, and align yourself with that. right? Align with those feelings that you want to feel, and I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but to have, right? And that can be in anything. It's not just saying no,
I would
right?
add on the boundaries, there is the saying no part, but you can also flip it the other way. Yes, comma, when, dot, dot, dot. Because if you don't consciously choose what you're going to do with your time, your energy, your attention, then you're waiting for someone or something else to take it. And then we become slaves to the urgent, whether it's our urgent or someone else's urgent. But like my daughter wants something. I'm not saying no. Yes, when this happens, when that happens. You want your tablet time. That's fantastic. I would love for you to have tablet time when you get your piano
Yeah.
done and you get your math done. So it's a yes, comma, when. Or it we say sometimes a yes and. I'm saying yes, and it's going to be in another hour, it's going to be in another day, or another whatever. So
Yeah.
we can create boundaries for, I have this available in my time, in my day, and then I'm not available for that, right? I'm not available for this particular thing. My
Yeah.
time priority is elsewhere, and that's not a shame on the other person or the other opportunity. It's just not in alignment with where I'm going for this day, this week, this month, this quarter, or whatever the goals you have.
Fascinating.
Right. It's self-respect.
Yeah. All right, guys. Question from the
Yeah.
audience: what are the biggest misconceptions people have about self care?
Mhm.
I've heard that when you take care of yourself, the self care, that you're lazy. We are in a busy go, go, go world. And if you stop to rest, to take time for yourself, to do something for yourself, a lot of people will label you as lazy. And it's not true. You're trying to re energize yourself so that you can pour more, or, be able to pour yourself out, because when you have an empty cup, you can't pour anything out. And that's what self-care is all about, is to refuel and refill yourself up so that you can be able to give again, because giving from an empty cup is not helping anybody at all.
Yeah. I would also add to it too. That's a really huge point. And I would say that self-care doesn't have to be like going and getting a massage. It doesn't have to be like going out and getting a pedicure or whatever. Literally, you can do so many things. You could stop for 5 minutes and just breathe, right? You could take some breaths, put your hand on your heart, connect with your heart, tell yourself that you're safe, that you're enough, right? You could take a walk in nature. You could, I mean, there's so many things that self-care is that, isn't something that we have to, it doesn't have to be this big grand thing, right? It's just finding out what those little things are that make you happy, that can add some light into your day, and doing those, taking a time out to do them, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Even having yourself a quick dance party, that's self-care, right? And that puts your energy back into a space where you're ready then to go into the hustle or whatever, right? It helps open and expand your consciousness and helps you stay in the body and connected to the self.
All right,
I
we've got another
see.
comment. Go ahead,
I
Jeremy.
was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, I see one of the big myths as, self-care being self-indulgence. And it's your people who don't like when someone else is taking self-care, they're like, "Oh, you're being self-indulgent, you're not available for me when I need you the way I need you. You're being a narcissist." And it's like, well, the person demanding of your time and not allowing you to rejuvenate, maybe they're being in the narcissistic pattern, right? So it's when someone, the myth is it's self-indulgent, but it's like, if someone's trying to weaponize what you're doing to help you be able to thrive and to be the best that you can possibly be for yourself and others, like that right there should be a red flag of like, why are you weaponizing this or attacking me for this if this is what I genuinely need? The flip side is if we're using it, oh, I have to do my self-care as an escape from responsibility and taking ownership, and we are letting people down and we are causing more conflict because we're not doing the discipline and doing the hard stuff that may be, I don't care how you feel, you got to get it done. Sometimes that's a
Yeah.
mission appropriate thing because that's business and that's life sometimes.
All right, we're gonna swing this back to our next comment, and then I'm gonna give you guys a contrarian view. All right, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first so you can show up fully for others. This is a super popular, I guess, I don't know if I'd say trendy. It's been around for a while, but a trendy little thing, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You have to go get rich to help the poor. You have to have great mental health to help those that don't, yada, yada, yada. Um, somewhat disagree with that, but let's talk about mothers and energy. Um, you're depleted, you have kids, you're dying, you worked all day, yada, yada, yada. You still have to pour from that empty cup for your children, right?
I feel, being a mama myself, that we have, like, our cups are split in a way, because we can pour out from, for other people, but then it's like we always have the energy for the kids. We're out, the umbilical cord is what has connected us to our kids. And while it may not be there when they're growing, there's still kind of that energy tie between the mother and the child. And so, we may be tired, but there's always this little bit of energy that just keeps going. And it's the nurturing side that I feel that mamas have to be able to take care of their young.
I'm going to add something to that, though, is like, this is where I'm saying that the 2 minutes, the 1 minute, whatever, of just taking a breath or having the dance party, right? You can do that with your kid. You can do that with, like, being present for them and being present for yourself at the same time. So really bringing them into the journey with you, almost, right? So you're both refilling your cup, essentially, I guess, right? You can say it like that. So I get what you're saying, because sometimes being an old mom with a 3-year-old, sometimes I can't curse online, but sometimes my cup ain't very full. So I'll just tell you, but like, I will turn on some music and I'll just try and get him to have a dance party with me. Or if he's having a moment, right, he's at the age where he's just trying to figure out his emotions and regulate his emotions. And I'm at the age where I'm trying to do that too, right? And so we are, we are in it together. And I just kind of remind myself that, right? So I tell him, I'll sit with him and I'll tell him to take a breath, and I'll take a breath, right? So there's simple things that you can do, right? That's why I'm saying, like, where Jeremy said, it doesn't have to be this indulgent thing, right? It can be very simple.
Yeah. The idea you can't pour from an empty cup, that works with cups, because cups are this, but our energy is malleable and made up.
Thank you.
Right? Because if oh man, I just worked a 60-hour day and I'm so cooked, I'm so tired, I'm exhausted, I have to get some sleep. Okay, the house is on fire. I'm getting out of the house, right? And it's realizing we as human beings, when what we pay attention to very much controls what's the availability inside us. So like, my son is not doing a great job with, I tell him to take a breath. I'm going to take a deep breath, because now I'm opening my passageway, more oxygen in my bloodstream. My energy states are changing as I'm modeling for him. Reinforcement creates this feedback loop. It's awesome. So human beings can pour from an empty cup. You get what I call squeaky wheel syndrome, which is they bitch a blue streak the entire time. I'll give to you, but you're going to freaking owe me. And how dare you? And I'm going to word vomit on you because I'm so exhausted, but I'm still going to do the thing to take care of you because damn it, I love you. And you're the greatest person ever, but I'm so tired. Screw that. And it's like that right there to me, that's someone who's depleted. And like when my wife is doing that and the kids are like asking, I'm like, guys, stop. Mom's out of lemonade. Stop asking for you. You got to ask for her. How do we fill her cup? How do we put energy back into her? And that's, if you've seen the sheepdog episode of Bluey, mom needs 20 minutes. She gets to claim that, and everybody, mom's in timeout, and that's where I'm a partner, and I'm gonna take the kids. We're gonna go for a walk. We get out of the house. We can't do something too fun because then she gets FOMO. But it's like, it's okay. You're allowed to feel, and here's what we're gonna do with that, and then we're gonna go. Because you can pour from an empty cup. It's just painful for everyone involved.
Yeah. And that is a good point too, that, we can pour from the empty cup, but it may not be pretty. It may be very ugly at the time.
It's fugly. It's a fugly moment.
But I think the more things you do on the side, the more things you do to regulate the nervous system, to relax the nervous system, to release it, like even the shaking, the dancing, right? that helps build your resistance and creates a bigger resilience to situations, and to be able to handle it and to navigate through that messy
Yeah. Well,
time,
we're not
right?
at the
Where your cup is
we're
empty.
not at the exercise thing, but a quick thing you can do when you're feeling exhausted and depleted and all the rest is you take your hand and shake it 10 times, then the other hand 10 times, and then your right foot 10 times, then your left
Yeah.
foot 10 times, and then do it 9 times and 9 times and 9 times and 9 times and 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7. By the time you get down to one of each, you're re-energized. You're like, oh, I don't need coffee. I don't.
Or you just shake your whole
Yeah,
Yeah,
body.
I'd
because you're
rather
just
just dance. I just want to
doing
dance
this and
upside
doing
down
this.
and twerk.
You just, I mean, somatic shaking is a huge thing. So, and that's what a lot of my clients do. And a lot of times I do it. I'll just put on some high energy music and I just shake my entire
Yep.
body, right? For 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
I have a rebounder downstairs. Same
You
deal. You're
know.
bouncing, zero gravity, double your body weights. You're squishing your cells, and it's forcing your lymph to circulate, and it's forcing nutrition through your bloodstream and through your cell structure. So that's fun too. Do that for 5 minutes. Put on a really awesome song and bounce up and down and go woohoo. That works. If you don't have the rebounder, you just bounce on your heels or rock back and forth. You're getting mechanical movement of your blood and your lymph.
All right, I'm going to
Fair
turn
point.
this conversation to another area. Jeremy just mentioned the word, so we're going to focus a little more on social health, right, and self care and how that affects other stuff. Songs. Let's talk about social health, self care, and narcissism. It's such a buzzword nowadays. What is it? Where is it? Is there a fine line? Everyone that gets dumped calls the other person a narcissist. Everyone that isn't treated right talk to me about narcissism, social health, and self care, please.
It's just someone being selfish most often. Narcissistic. Oh, you mean selfish? You mean putting their own priorities ahead of yours and you don't like it?
Tell me the difference between selfish and self care.
Well, it gets into how it impacts other people in the environment because if I'm I'm sorry, I can't take this call. I have to go meditate, bro. I'm doing my sensory deprivation thing, dude. Can't talk right now. And you keep using that as a way to push people away and keep people away. That's moving into that selfish territory. But on a certain level, you may have been in deficit for the last 10, 15 years, and you're finally starting to take care of yourself. So there's this deficit you got to recover from. So it's really, really hard in my world to say what is truly selfish and what is self-care. Um, I see a lot of a self-referencing framework. Help me understand how what you're doing then feeds back into the people you say you care about because they're not feeling that you care about them. So there's a discrepancy in rules here and impact. So help me understand.
But
Interesting.
I've also seen with narcissists that they can also be abusive and be on that side of the mental side of things where they've taken it too far and now it's their way or the highway, bye-bye, type of thing. And it's really hard if it's somebody that you love, you want to, and you're a people pleaser. You haven't set up those boundaries yet. And so it's one of those, we have to watch for that side of narcissism too. And that's where boundaries come into play, is that we need to set up those. I mean, I don't like to say set up walls because that's not a healthy thing, but at the same time, putting up boundaries is kind of like setting up walls so that you can be able to love on yourself and not be affected by the hurtful words or whatever the narcissist is trying to put on you that are not true words. So
Fascinating.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, we got one more question from the audience. Jeremy,
Jeremy.
and this is going to go for everyone. How do you personally manage stress and prevent burnout? That goes for all of you.
well, the big part of it is I don't use that word. Like I don't have stress. I have pressure.
Oh,
Right? I have pressure. I have things pressing on me. I'm psychologically I'm under a level of psychological load. Like, dude, I need to go shut off. So I use naps like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I'll tell my wife, hey babe, I'm just gonna go corpse for like 15 minutes. And she doesn't always like it, but she knows she gets a better me afterwards because I'm rejuvenated in that time. I've trained myself to just shut off and reset. So that's a big one. Exercise is huge. Right now I'm training for the Dopey Challenge. So that means 5K, 10K, half, full marathon. So I'm running 3 days a week. I'm lifting 2 days a week, making sure I get enough nutrition. Every day I take 20 minutes and just sit in gratitude. Like for the way my body operates, gratitude lives in a certain place and it feels a certain way. And so I take 15 to 20 minutes and literally just sit and feel into that. What's crazy is when I do, all kinds of opportunities come my way and connections and people reach out, which is awesome. But it makes me really appreciate my wife and my daughter, because for a large portion of my life, I'm probably never going to get married. I'm probably never going to have kids. And that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to be a dad since I was 9, and it didn't happen until I was 39. So that journey, I remind myself on a regular basis never to take this for granted. I've had a lung that collapsed twice and been hospitalized twice. Every day that I can take a deep breath, I'm so happy about that and so grateful. And that's really what I use to, like, what am I really dealing with? And I've got the clients that I serve. A lot of them have been through really bad situations, marriages failing, partners cheating, death of a child, terminal life diagnosis. And how do I help these guys to find reasons to keep moving forward and find ways to live and thrive, even when they've been handed a situation? Makes me appreciate my life, my wife, my daughter, everything I've got going on. And then I moved from Ohio to Florida, so I no longer have Ohio winters. I have Florida winters for like 2 weeks, which is a beautiful feeling. So there's some answers. Does that help with Zafraya?
So I want to add.
Personally,
I want to add to this.
do it.
Stress is one of the things that we need to look at is the foods that you're putting into your body. And a big player, especially if you're living in the United States and up in Canada, for sure, is sugar. Sugar messes with your gut, which then messes with your brain because there's a gut-brain connection. And we don't want to mess up the gut because there's more neurotransmitters, which are the dopamine, the serotonin, which all help with are you happy or stressed. So we need to take out the sugar, the refined sugar, the artificial sugars. We need to cut back on those. Those are my big ones. And then also inflammatory foods also help de-stress the body, which then, and if you put up the boundaries, because you got to say no to that sugar that's, sugar is 80% of our grocery stores here in the United States. It's very hard to do. It's very hard to break. I have broke it. I used to be the queen to the 3 king-size candy bars. It almost led me to the graveyard. And that was 14 years ago. So I've been given extra years of life. And today I celebrate my 40th birthday. So here we go.
Oh, happy birthday today.
Thank you.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts before we move on to the daily challenge?
Say a big thing
let's move on.
A big thing is the story you tell. Is this a problem?
Yeah,
Is this a challenge?
I was just going to add
is this an opportunity? Is this a calling? Like your story controls your potential.
Yeah, I think
that's funny you said that right as a guest commented, stories make you smart. That's their name.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's funny. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I just wanted to add too about that, about
Just
the
a weird
stress
little.
and just honestly, just getting curious about why you're so stressed about certain things too. Taking a breath, relaxing. Like I always bring it back to the breath. Our breath is something that we have that it's so unconscious, right? We don't actually give it a thought. And it is what gives us life. And through that, there's so much knowledge, there's so much wisdom, and there's so much wisdom in the body. So if you're feeling stress, feel where it's feeling, where is it affecting you in the body? Just kind of get curious about what it's trying to tell you, right? Instead of starting to create those stories about it, right?
Well, even the language pattern, the language of I am so stressed, I am feeling so stressed. Because the
Right.
feeling is like, are
Exactly.
you stressed? It's like someone says, I'm depressed. I'm like, who's sitting on you? What do you mean? Well, a depression is when you sit on something and you cause a divot. So who's sitting on you? Well, no one. Oh, so you're feeling depressed. Okay. So you're connecting to
Right.
yourself. Okay, that's cool. It's like I've been there. Tell me more. But just the I am blah blah blah. It's like once you claim that identity, your unconscious beliefs start to reinforce that as a truism.
Mhm.
Are you really, or are you feeling such? And then once we get to that I am feeling, now we begin to open the frame and we can change the interpretation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
our
love that
words are
distinction.
so powerful. Our voice is, we are so silenced, but our voice is needed. We need to let it roar and be of loving words and speak of life.
Absolutely.
Someone says, "May your birthday be full of
All right,
fun,
guys.
cake, and happiness." Did you tell? You gotta tell them it's
Yay,
gotta be
cake.
sugar-free cake.
Sugar-free cake.
Well, it's got to be. You guys want to go worse with this? It's got to be.
We don't like cake on this show.
You guys, my cake has to be sugar-free, grain-free, egg-free, nut-free, dairy-free. Yeah.
So just give her
Give
an
her a
apple.
candle.
It's a picture of a cake. There you go. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Eat the picture, get the fiber.
We have PTSD about cake on this show. It's not fun. We don't like cake. All right, daily challenge time, guys. We need to come up with a task and or a series of tasks to help us improve our social health with self-care that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone in the world from Kamchatka to Kathmandu. What thoughts do you have?
Set those boundaries. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, well, it might cost you a friendship, but financially
But are they
wise,
really your friend?
yeah. If they do not respect your boundaries, are they true a friend? You got to think of that. Set those boundaries. It's one of those. How do you want your energy to be? Do you want to be low vibrational, or do you want to be rising up and stepping into your calling? And if you want to be rising your energy, what do you need to do to be able to get to those steps? And your top 5 people that you hang out with are a good place to look at how your energy is doing.
I would say, and I actually have this, so anybody can reach out to me, but it's just establish where your energy leaks are, right? I actually have a 7-minute energy leak assessment, and just look at the areas of your life. Look at where you're leaking energy, right? This is going to take you 7 minutes or whatever during the day. You don't need my thing, but just look at where you're leaking energy in your spots of like awareness, like where, what you're not paying attention to. Look at where you're not being in integrity with yourself. Figure that out. And then each day, learn to, I guess, go back to a boundary on it, but learn to say no to something, like only one thing. You could start small, say no to one thing. And also really get clear on those values, get clear on those dreams and aspirations that you want. And begin to like ask yourself each day, like, what can I do today to bring me closer to this? And what can I say no to that is going to take me further away, right? And that's going to take you a minute. And then at the end of the day, ask yourself how you showed up, right? See how you showed up through that day and how you can do better tomorrow, right? Simple.
And mine is real simple.
Jeremy-
Mine is go for a walk in different environments and see how you feel. Go walk with a large crowd. Go walk in a mall. Go walk in nature. Go walk where there's lots of trees. Go walk where there's no trees. Get out and move your body for 5 minutes and just what lights you up? What makes you like, this is the place I need to be. This is the place that I feel. And pay attention to that, because so many people walk through their lives unaware of what's going on around them. They're just not paying attention because they're so locked in their own BS, their own belief systems. Go for a walk and pay attention.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Awareness, figure out what it is.
Yeah, don't forget to put down the phones. Unplug to recharge.
Yeah, don't put it right next to your bed.
All right. All right, here we go for our daily challenge. We're going to identify a leak in your energy in your social life. I like that thought. It can take 30 seconds. It might take all 5 minutes, and that might be all you do. But somewhere, I guarantee, is somebody in your social life that is asking more than you want, doing something you don't like, or making your energy not have a very good ROE. So I think that was a really good thought there. Say no to something you truly don't want. I think that people pleasing is a common thing. So let's work on making sure we say no to someone or something. And then we're going to take a 30-second dance or walk outside. We did, you could do a minute or two and walk, but I kind of like the whole dance idea. I might do a dance walk just because Jeremy wants me to get out too, but
There's some
Or,
really
or
good
go
ones
hug a
in here.
tree.
unsure.
Just go hug a tree.
Yeah. So we got 3 things, 5 minutes, and that'll kind of build you up. No, come on. Gosh.
Life, you need
All
to
right.
get
Well, we got to
out
wrap
of
this
the
up.
social media world.
Life, you need to watch our episodes on social media. We have a social health and a mental health on social media. I don't think you're actually recharging yourself, but you're lucky. You waited till the last second when we can't respond to you. All right. But thank you guys so much for coming out. We're going to wrap up the show here and move on. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Carolyn. And thank all of you for watching. Woohoo! Hopefully you guys had a great time. We've got an awesome challenge. Get outside, go do a little dance, go do a little walk, even if it's 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however much you want. Find out a key one. Find out an energy leak. Where is your return on your energy not so hot in your social life? And I bet you when I'm saying this that you're thinking of someone like, oh, that person always asks me to do it, and why do I keep doing it? And I bet you already know exactly where your energy leak is. So let's try to plug that in, and we're going to say no to something. This could be where your energy leak is. Learn to say no and keep your eyes focused. There is, I think, Elon Musk's ex-wife just kind of came out in an interview and said that the reason he's so successful is because he says no all the time. He has his mission, he has his vision, he has his core values, and he is so hyper-focused on what he wants. Everything else is no, 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 no. So try to do that a little bit in your social life. Who do you want to surround yourself with? Well, who shares life and who shares your vision? Is your vision that you're living on a yacht partying 30 days a week? Well, find people like that. Is your vision that you are living happily with a wife and maybe a family? Well, you got to find people like that. And that's where your energy needs to be focused. Whew. Hope you all had a great time. I hope you have the best day of your life until tomorrow, which is even better. And